How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Each One Teach One podcast. This is the very first episode. And I'm Gary Robinson Jr. And next to me is...
Elijah Coates from Montclair, New Jersey. Small little town, but it's very diverse. That's how I met my brother right here.
Sir.
Sir. I mean, I'm excited to get this going, It's our first episode. It's gonna be a good one. We plan to be in here for the long run, not a short-term thing. We're going to go hard about it every time we shoot. So let's get this going.
Right. And the Each One Teach One podcast is a podcast trying to help and develop young Black brothers like ourselves and beyond. So as of right now, today, we usually have Jukes who's here, but he's not here today, unfortunately, but he'll be here in following episodes. But we want to speak to not only the younger generation of Black brothers, but also the older generation as well, and try to get everybody to come together as a community and create leadership.
Right.
And, we're young. We're 20 years old.
Yeah.
We don't really know everything, but what we do know, we can give to the younger generation. And then when we have the older gentlemen come in, they could teach us. So we could teach another one, which is why we call it Each One Teach One.
Right.
There you go. So Elijah, what made you want to start something like this?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, it's like a lot of people that motivated me growing up, especially you got Martin Luther King, you got Malcolm X. It's like people like that, of color especially. It was hard back then, but they kept it going. They didn't stop. I mean, they died for their cause. You know what I'm saying? They put their pride aside and it was for the people. And it's all love. They didn't, especially MLK, he didn't look at color. He wanted everybody to come together and just live as peace and love. So my thing is we're young, like you said, us doing this now is going to motivate the generation to get their stuff together and get on the ball about things and, get stuff going. So when you brought up the idea, I'm that's fire. Because before that, we was talking about how we wanted to do charity events, backpack drive, school supplies, food drive, stuff like that. So you bringing up the idea with the podcast, it's one and one, you know what I'm saying? So he motivates me to, get my stuff done. I motivate him. We go off each other like that. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I'm saying? Right.
This is really my guy right here. This is genuine right here. I love this guy right here, man. And what would you say you get from Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, the Fred Hamptons? What do you say you take away from them?
Honestly, just the drive, just to be better as a person, motivate other people, because there's not a lot of people like that nowadays. A lot of people are envious. You know what I'm saying? They don't if you see a person that's doing good, a lot of people hate on that. I mean, they wasn't like that. They didn't see that. You know what I'm saying? They was just for the people, especially Fred Hampton. He was our age when he started that. Right. You know what I'm saying? He was 20, and a lot of people our age, they small minded. So with him, he felt like he wanted to be on top of the world, on top of the world. He wanted to reach out to everybody, get everybody on the same movement. So it's he wanted to take out the hate in everybody. You know what I'm saying? Especially people that was against, Black people. He even, I seen the movie, so he walked in the middle of a Ku Klux Klan meeting, walked right in, and was this is what we trying to do. Either y'all with us or y'all not. Right now, what I just walked in is the same building I just came from. Reality, we in the same world, but obviously we in different skin colors.
Right.
So he's put that aside and just join us against the fight to take out the hate. You know what I'm saying? So what I take away from them is really just their drive, to do better. And that's what I feed off of. I'm trying to better myself every day, become a better person.
Right. I definitely feel that, man. This is not only helping other people, but it's helping us as well.
Right.
It's holding us accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're going to do this, then we have to understand that, hey, people are going to look at us in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to really put ourselves out there. So we really have to be cognizant of what we do and what we said.
You got to set an example.
Exactly. And you actually really came up with this idea, really, because earlier, I think back maybe in November or something like that, you mentioned Judas and the Black Messiah.
Right.
Actually, the movie came out this year. February?
Something like that, around that time.
So around that time, so about a couple months ago, you mentioned it to me about, food drives and how the movie motivated you and inspired you.
Right.
And you came to me with the idea, and I was like, that's a dope idea. I obviously want to start off small, of course. Right. And I think this is a great start.
Great start.
This is definitely a great start here. And what do you, for me, I think why I wanted to do it was, definitely because you mentioned it, and Judas Black Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
And I never really thought about it like that. I always thought, to be honest with you, I'm going to take care of myself and my family.
Right.
When in reality, there's a lot of brothers and sisters who don't have family.
Right.
We're blessed with big families, sisters, cousins, mother, father, and everything. But a lot of people don't have those luxuries, And so we want to take our blessings of knowledge and not only the mental, but the physical and spiritual, and give it to other people. And also there's older members, older gentlemen who do the same thing for us. And this is just whole collective unit.
Right.
And a lot of days, a lot of brothers now lack leadership.
Right.
I think they lack guidance. A lot of guys don't have father figures, and if they do, it's negative ones. They even if there is a father figure, it's not the right one. They don't teach the righteousness. They teach wickedness. And I think just really trying to show people like, hey, this is really the right way to go, and trying to teach brothers how to be a father,
right, or
how to elevate to be one day, and how to treat women, and how to be a part of your community in a positive way.
Right.
Definitely. But let's talk about ourselves for a minute. Tell the audience about you.
So, athlete. I played football my whole life. I met him in 4th grade. That was wild. Met him in 4th grade. Played for Montclair Bulldogs during Pee Wees. It was rough starting out. You know what I'm saying? I had no confidence in myself. Maybe be the first one to tell you I was. You know what I'm saying? But I kept at it. I got way better by the time I was in 8th grade. Freshman year, started out with a bang. You know what I'm saying? Football comes with injuries. I had a lot of injuries throughout high school. So I wouldn't say I had a good high school experience with football, but I wouldn't say it was the best. You know what I'm saying? So I had to take a different route. I went to prep school, got into a college. Right now, I'm focusing on my criminal justice major. Like, football's always going to be there, but it's like I'm trying to set up, long term.
Right.
Because football is going to end one day for everybody. It doesn't last forever, but as long as you got like a base career, you're going to be straight. So that's a little bit about me. I did get my criminal justice like motivation. Like, it may sound corny, but I watched a lot of like First 48, a lot of cop shows and all that, and it's like, damn, I want to do that. But it's like I want to go in like the Homeland Security type area. Like that's what I really want to get into.
Is what you see, going on in our communities, like with police brutality and what's going on, what you see, was that part of the motivation for you as well?
Yeah, because it takes one to really make a change. You know what I'm saying? Once that one person comes in, is like, hey, like this is how it's gonna go. People follow behind that. You got to set an example. And if I go in and start doing the same exact thing that's causing the problem, the cycle is gonna repeat.
Yep.
So you got to be that one person that's wanting to make a change, and like, once you set an example in the community, like everybody's gonna lead by example. Like I got to be that example for everybody.
Right. And then just like Tupac said, one brother teach two brothers, teach three, teach four, teach more. That's exactly how it is. And not only will one teach, then that's when the village comes in. It says it takes a village to raise a child, and raising children is going to be raising the next generation. Right. So definitely being, it's important to know what you have to do. And for me, so as you guys know, my name is Gary Robinson Jr., and I'm a sophomore at Southern Connecticut State University. I lived in Montclair, New Jersey my whole life. Lived with my mother and father, Rhonda and Gary Robinson Sr., my two younger sisters. Goats. Exactly, goats right there. Personality-wise, man, I'm just laid back. Like to hang out with friends and everything, but I just got love for people, man. Right. I really like seeing people together. Just unity.
It's the best feeling, man.
Exactly. And like I have a big family and we all love each other. We argue and stuff. Stuff happens, it's family, but we all love each other and have love for one another, and we just love. And we want to see each other doing good things, and it should be like that for everything. I think that's what I want to take from my family and bring it to everybody else, so we can all really be a family, even if we're not blood relatives, Right. Definitely.
It's crazy because how me and Gary met, it was my first year of Pop Warner football, 4th grade. I was nervous, and we doing hitting drills. He's the first person I see, he's probably the biggest person on the team at the time. And he's going up first, right? For people that are unfamiliar, it's a drill called Bull in the Ring. You can't do it no more, but you know, all the concussions going on. But back then you can do it. So, of course, I'm called first. He's first. It's my first hitting drill. Keep that in mind. I don't know what I'm doing. So he's standing over me. I'm mad short at the time. He's standing over me looking angry. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Coach blew the whistle. He almost knocked my helmet off. I'm like, I'm not talking to this guy. I'm not going to let him.
Yo, he ain't talking to me the rest of the practice. I was like, yo, E, you good? He's like,
I ain't say a word.
Turned his head and everything.
I was like, he gonna be the one I don't like on the team because he embarrassed me my first practice. But my pops and his dad was our coaches, you know, so that helped a lot. That helped grow our friendship because his dad and my dad were like best friends. So that helped us, you know, become closer and build a brotherhood off of that. And so we've been close ever since.
Facts. Your father is one of my favorite coaches ever.
Yeah.
Like, your father was just a great dude, man. Like he was a leader.
Right.
And you look up to him, like if he said run through this wall, like okay. Like, it was just like that. We used to run, what kind of defense we ran? It was like a 6'2".
Yeah, 6'2".
Yo, six down linemen, 2 linebackers. Now you know nobody threw the ball back then.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, nobody threw the ball.
No time. And they both, his dad and my dad ran the defense. So me and Gary was on the opposite sides with both DNs. So, you know what I'm saying? That was double trouble. You wasn't getting passes that easy.
Right. And just to continue off what I was saying about myself just a little earlier, went to Montclair High School, and I was a defensive end and offensive tackle. I played running back my freshman year. You know, I was, if I must say, I wasn't running back until I got a concussion. Elijah knows what I'm talking about.
Wild story.
But at Southern Connecticut State, I'm on the track team now. I do shot put and hammer, and I have a radio show called On My Way Radio. I also do acting there as well. And I just keep myself busy. And on my Instagram and everything, I always try to just stay positive, post positive things all the time. And this is another positive aspect that we want to keep on doing.
Right.
You know?
All right, what's the transition like from sport to sport? Like, you played football your whole life pretty much. So what was like going into the track and field side?
It's a good question. So I played football my whole life since I was like 5, 6 years old, and always loved it. Like growing, I'll say maybe from like I was maybe 17, 16 years old, I wanted to go to the NFL. That was and go D1. That was just my dream. Then as I get older, I was like, getting concussions, getting hurt, and all that stuff. Is it really worth it? End of the day, like I remember I had a great conversation with Coach Klein. You know Coach Klein,
yeah,
my D-line, O-line coach, and we talked after practice for like 3 hours. No kidding. After we had like a really bad practice, I just talked to him. I was like, Coach Klein, like this is my senior year. I'm like, Coach Klein, like I don't know if this football stuff is for me anymore.
Right.
This is the second game of the season. I'm saying this to them. I'm like, I don't know if this football stuff is for me anymore. Like, I don't know if I want to play in college. Like, this is tough for me right now. And he gave me just some great advice. I don't remember everything he said, but I remember like just what he told me made me feel really good and ended up having the best season ever. Ended up being first team all Group 5. We played in the championship. We lost, unfortunately, but it was just a great season. And like I remember I just learned a lot about myself because I was one of the captains and trying to lead group of 60-something guys, that are my peers. They're like, yeah, whatever, this guy, I don't know what he's talking about. But transitioning, so I got to college, and when you get to college, now
it's a whole different ballgame.
It's a whole different. It's not like high school. You don't know these guys. You go to camp first day. Guys are from Tennessee. Guys from New Jersey, New York, from all over the place, different backgrounds, different lifestyles. You all come into one little melting pot. Try to assimilate into a team.
Right.
And you either do or you don't.
That's the hard part because, before you get to college, everybody was the man on their team in high school.
Right.
That's like the hardest thing to overcome being a college athlete. You go from being that guy to fighting to be that guy again once you go to college. And it's hard to do. It's not easy. You know what I'm saying? Especially everybody's coming from different states. You got to readjust yourself. You got to get to know everybody all over again. Like you got to form another brotherhood with a different team. And that could be hard.
It was very hard. It was difficult. You sitting there and you're like, especially if you're really a quiet guy.
Right.
I'm not, I don't say too much of the time. I kind of stay to myself for the most part. And I get my friends from what I do. I get my friends from football, from acting, from the radio station, basically from what I do, because I have to interact with them.
Right.
And so when I got there, it became a job. You know, it is a job. You know, I'm not trying to scare anybody that wants to play college football. This is just from my experience, because I know people who had great experiences. But it's different for everybody. And this is from me. And I got there and I was just like, you know, the fun, there wasn't any fun to it. You know, it was a whole bunch of meetings.
Right.
A bunch of meetings. Then you had class on top of that, study hall. And if you want to do extracurricular activities like I wanted to do, it was tough to do them. Right. And I didn't get my playing time. I hurt once or twice. And it was tough. I was just like, man, this is, you know, I would do something else. And it was tough because I was a football player my whole life. That was, it's like, oh, Gary, the football player?
Right.
Yeah, now I don't know what I'm known as now. It's just maybe Gary, the track player, the radio host. I don't, you know, I'm still trying to find that identity in a sense, you know, but I think that's the fun part because you get to, like, re-examine yourself and say, you know, who are you really? And I feel like through that tough process I was going through, tough time, I really found my faith again. I'm not closer to the Most High. It was good for me. It was bad, but it's always there's a minor setback and then there's a major comeback. I feel like I had that major comeback, definitely. What about you? How was your experience?
It was different, you know. After I graduated high school, I went to prep school in New York. It's called Milford Academy. That was probably the most mentally draining part of my life. Honestly, I can really say that. It was a totally different environment from what I was coming from. It was country, you know, it's a really small town, not a lot there. There's a bunch of farms. And we used to city life. I can walk to Gary's house from my house, like 5 minutes.
5 minute walk,
You know what I'm saying? Everything else is like 45, maybe an hour away from us. Laundry is like 30 minutes. So it was something I really had to adjust to, like mentally. I had a lot of down days. It was like, you know, I was always questioning myself. It's like, is football really for me? Like, do I really want to go play football in college? Because being away from family, I wasn't used to that. And I was there for about 4 months. I wasn't used to being away from my, like, you know, my home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My friends, mom, dad, brother. It was difficult, but, you know, like, you gotta like buckle down and like fight through that. You know what I'm saying? Because there will be better days. Not every day is going to be the same. And I had to realize that pretty quick. Like, me moping around isn't going to make things better for myself. So I had to get on the ball and just roll with it. Got my grades up. You know what I'm saying? But again, dealing with injuries. I was battling a knee injury the entire season. I got some playing time, but I wasn't 100. And that's like probably the thing I got to deal with even today. Is like, if I was healthy, would I be at this school or this school or this school? There's always that what if factor at one moment in your life. But what I would take away from that moment is now I know how to conduct myself in like in different environments. Like, that was a real hostile environment because, like, again, you got people coming in from all different areas trying to build a team. And it's like, that was a really hard thing to do because everybody was against each other probably like the first 2 months. Yep. And there's always that group, you know what I'm saying? You're not part of this group, then you know how that goes. So that was probably the hardest thing, but I'd say it built a lot of character. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot more confidence in myself with anything because it depends on what environment you're in. It can build a lot of character and how you conduct yourself going on through your life. But yeah, like, especially with like school, like, I taught myself how to study on my own. You know what I'm saying? Because you were by yourself. You didn't have tutors there after school hours. Like, you had to be on your own sometimes. So definitely how to study. Now I know how to manage myself with classes, you know, just on the right path. I think I needed that, though, because if I graduated high school and went on to college, like a university, it would have been tougher. Right. So it's like a love-hate situation with that, because like, I like the character it built for me and how I conduct myself now, but it's like, did I waste my time going there? That's like where I'm at. But right now, I say I'm pretty satisfied with myself as far as character and like how I conduct myself now.
I feel you in that. What aside from football or sports in general, what advice would you give to an up-and-coming college student about academics and try to balance academics and social life?
Okay, so we all know grades come first.
Always.
You know what I'm saying? Academics come first. And with college, especially, like, you graduating college and getting your degree will set you up in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, like, college isn't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? School in general isn't for everybody.
Very true.
But for the people that want to go to college and want to get that experience, like, social life can, like, kind of mold with academics, because, like, you can meet somebody that has the same interests as you as far as majors. You know what I'm saying? So if you meet somebody that's having the same major as you, you know what I'm saying, you can build off of that. Y'all can build off each other. You can help each other study. You know what I'm saying? So, but definitely put academics first. It's like, you can always meet a friend at a cab. You can always do all the social stuff, but academics really set your future up for long term. You can get a great job once you have your degree, because that's an eye opener.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For people to hire you. Like, college degree is big. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy graduating college. It's not. But once people see that you actually put in the work to do it, it's like, I want that guy.
Right.
I want her to come work for me. I want him to come work for me, because I know they put in the work to even graduate college. Even though they have the confidence to come in this office and ask for a job. You know what I'm saying? So definitely academics first. I say that.
That's a fact. And just to, like, piggyback off that a little bit, when you get to college, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
It's different than high school. College, remember you went to middle school, teachers would be like, oh, in high school, they really don't care about you.
Right.
But in college, they really don't care. If you don't come to class, they're not going to email you, not going to email mom or dad. You're just wasting your money and wasting your time, and you're messing your grades up.
It's on you at that point. Like, you're independent. Like you choose what you want to do. Like, you choose whether you want to go to class, whether you want to study. Like, you're in complete control of your life once you go to college. So once you get an understanding of that and understand what college really means, like, yeah, you can go party. You know what I'm saying? You can go out on weekends, but try not to make a habit, because that you'll easily just go right down the drain. You'll flunk out, and then now you're going back home looking like a deer in the headlights, like, yeah, that's really wasting my time.
It's like, I really wasted my time. Now your parents on your back, and everybody that believed in you, your family, friends, let all them down, and that's going to be a lot on your heart. And also, I feel like a lot of people nowadays lack focus when they get to college. I know I did at first, because I was always trying to study my playbook, worry about the plays and the radio show. Next you know, look at my grades, and I'm like, man, what happened?
Right.
And I would say what helped me out was I got a piece of paper, or I used my notes on my phone, and I created a routine. And I did that routine every single day, no matter what. And when you create that routine, it becomes a habit, and you build good habits.
Right.
Wake up at the same time, make your bed. If you have religion, you pray to whatever God you pray to, brush your teeth, wash your face, shower, all that stuff, and you get on with your day. And you always have something set. Maybe do maybe 4 to 5 things a day. Once those are complete, you finish your day. That's simple. Right. And you always have to be proactive. So do what you need to do first. Right. All other stuff, hey guy, we're going out, hang out here tonight. Nah, man, I gotta study. Right. I gotta study tonight, because we're trying to build for longevity here instead of a quick thrill. That quick thrill is going to that party Friday. Now that test Monday, you're probably not gonna do as good as you're supposed to do, because you didn't study for it when you went out. Exactly. So when you study for that, supposed to study for that test and worry about the long term goal. Exactly. Not 5 days from now, not 5 minutes, but 5 years, 50 years down the line, so you get knowledge and wealth to your kids, right, which is really the goal here, and also, like, talking about wealth and knowledge. Now, people of color nowadays have more money than ever, more businesses and everything. But
I've been noticing that a lot lately.
Yeah, which is a really good thing. But correct me if I'm wrong, but I've noticed this. I feel like, yes, we do have our own money, have a lot of stuff, but to me, it just seems like it's a lot of me nowadays, in terms of, like, I have this money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go out and spend it how I want to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, instead of really thinking about the future in terms of,
Mm-hmm.
you know, your kids or
Right.
your community. What do you think about that? Do you think that as we get wealthier, we're getting more divided?
I think it's all right. So I'm gonna put it this way: us as African Americans, we're not used to having a lot. You know what I'm saying? We're used to like the bare minimum things. So when you finally reach that level of success, it's like you don't really know what to do. So the first thing you want to do is just like get back to yourself. One, because you put in the work to get there. You know what I'm saying? Like most people did it on their own. They didn't have any help.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great feeling once you hit that success. It's like, yeah, I got all this money now. Like, let me go splurge on myself a little bit. Let me give myself the praise because it's like I reached that point in my life that I've been praying for this whole time. You know what I'm saying? So I can say it depends on the person, honestly. Like, but I get what you're saying. Like, as far as there's a lot of me, because it's like it kind of looks kind of like selfish in a way. But again, like it depends on the person. Like most people, they'll go the independent route and build themselves up, get that success, and they'll give it right back because that's just how they are. But a person who literally came from nothing and it's like they have something, it's like now I'm all for me. Like I can chill now. So it can go both ways, honestly. You know what I'm saying? It can definitely go both ways.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're getting at like the saying where I think it's the saying where it's like it's better to teach a man how to fish than to like just fish it yourself and then give it to him and then leave. Because it's better to teach someone how to get the money or build something than to just give it to them. Now they don't know how to maintain it.
Right. Not only that, but they can pass it on to somebody else and then the cycle just continues.
Right.
Because if you spoon feed somebody, it's like they're not really learning. Like, okay, they got the information, but they don't know like literally how to do it. So once you teach them how like to get stuff done, it's like they can pass that on to somebody else. Like it's a cycle. Like me, I like to learn as much as I could wherever I'm at. Like that's just how I am, and then I can just pass that on to somebody else. And I'm like, dang, I didn't know that. Well, I didn't know that just 5 minutes ago. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? So receiving information, like, and giving it back out, it's like real big because you know, then you probably set that person up for more success, and then they'll pass it on to the next person. Like it's
right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
right. A lot of people nowadays are like, you know, hey man, put me on, you know, put me on the game, and then. Honestly, I'd rather have somebody tell me, like, look, this is how it needs to be done. Because without failure, there's no progress. A lot of people think failure is like, man, like I failed, like I'm a nobody. In reality, failure is good because at least you're trying. Right. You know, you're trying and then you're learning. It's trial and error. Once you, you take 50 tries, then the 51st one,
that's it.
That's the one that you break through. You know, as long as you keep going, because if you keep working and keep doing positive things, and the universe is going to bless you. Right. Actually, you are doing a business, clothing brand. Yeah. You know, can you tell the audience how you went about that and how you worked with it?
Okay, so my brother he's been trying to do this since I was probably a sophomore, maybe in high school. He was just trying to get all the things together. It's called Triumph Clothing Brand. So we do like kind of like thrift kind of clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like. It's like real unique. So it's like we used to on weekends we go to a thrift store, just cash out, you know, find something that you won't really see anybody wearing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we do that. We you know, obviously we wash the clothes, take pictures of them, and we was just like, yo, how do we get this started? It's like we can't just like send pictures to a group chat. Yo, buy this. Right. So he did his own research on how to like conduct a business, and then he was telling me about it. I'm like, yo, like that's dope. Like I was like, what you gonna call it? He's like, I don't know. And I was like, you gotta come up with some, because it's like you can't do nothing corny with thrift clothes. You know what I'm saying? He's like, all right, what about Triumph? I'm like, that's the one. I like that. That has a ring to it. You know what I'm saying? Triumph. Right. So how we got started, it wasn't easy getting it started because like you gotta trademark your name. You got to trademark the logo, and that in itself takes a while. You know, you can't. It's like you gotta get like a trademarking lawyer or something like that to make sure nobody else out there has the same exact logo, or if y'all have the same name, make sure it's like unique in its own way. You know what I'm saying? So that was probably the hardest part, getting it started. And once it got started, like my friends called a couple t-shirts. It was just like, it felt good to like, you know, be a part of something. And it was like, I knew about his dream, but it's like to see him actually do it, it felt good. And it felt good to be a part of that. Like, I was really happy for him. So if you're running to you know, start your own business, like really like stick to your research. You got to do your research, because that goes a long way. Because you don't want to start selling t-shirts and then, you know, somebody else has that name, and then all that money you just put into making them right out the window.
Yep.
So
and you get sued.
Right. So make sure you really do your research and like, don't rush it. Take your time. It's not a rush. You know what I'm saying? There's millions of people making t-shirts, so you got time to really buckle down and know what you really want to do. And that's what he did, and it came out great.
Right. You always have to start somewhere. As you said about your business, you got to start somewhere, and you research about your competitors and the market and everything. Right. And with my radio show, I had to do the same exact thing. It was first episode, October 7th, 2019. And I knew I wanted to do this my whole life. It's one of them things where like, I know I want to do this. Right. But when that first episode came about, I was like, man, I don't know if I should be doing this. Like, I'm nervous. I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm going to say. Right. I don't know what I'm going to do. I had a whole script that was like paragraphs long, like what I was going to say. It was all rehearsed. I'm like, then once 8:30 came around, the show started. I don't know, it's just like feels weird. Like when I get nervous, I perform better. So once I got nervous, and then I threw that paragraph to the side and just went at it.
It's natural. It just flowed.
It was natural. And it was, I guess, a God-given talent that I was given to be able to do the radio and also know the old school music that I do, which incorporates into it. And trying to find my niche. Another thing with businesses, your niche, like you have to find your audience, your style, and sort of like your flavor.
Yeah, there's always something for somebody, you know what I'm saying? Right.
And I feel like I found mine because, you know, Lenny Green, 17.5 WBLS, The Quiet Storm.
Yeah. My grandmother's on that station 24/7.
We grew up on that stuff, and that's what I grew up on, like 105.1, 97.1. I couldn't listen to that. As soon as 7 o'clock came on, Lenny Green comes on, and he would say, "This is 107.5 WB." I'd be like, "Oh, that was mad cool," you know. And then the slow jams would come on, and then like you're driving with your parents, and like you see like the street lights go by and the stars, and it would just feel so cool. It feel like therapeutic in a sense. Right. And I want to do the same thing, but with a younger audience, including the older audience. Right. Because younger people like old school music too. Right. And there's good R&B out here as well that's current. So I wanted to do the same thing and make it to my own niche. And then also I try something different all the time. It's always good to try something different and keep it fresh, you know, like the best products like Apple and all that stuff. They always keep it fresh with different colors, different features. And I try to do the same thing so at first it started off as just a Quiet Storm music. Then I was like, you know what? Let me try to do a theme every week. Like one week will be New Jack Swing songs. Then one week will be songs about crushing on somebody. Then it'll be 90s hip hop. You know, I always try to see if I can outdo myself. Right. And another thing that we could touch on is the fear of being complacent. Like you're sitting there like, okay, I'm at the top of the mountain. I'm doing my thing. Now I'm just going to chill. And then, can't do that. So you're here and there's somebody down there that's working. He may not get to you very quickly, but each day he's getting farther and farther. Then next, you know, he's passing you up and you're like, oh snap. And now you're like Scooby-Doo, like running in place.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Trying to get back up to the top. What do you think about being complacent, and how can you teach the audience and young brothers and sisters how to stop from being that?
Like there's always, reality is there's always going to be somebody that has more than you, whether you feel like you have it or not. Like that's why there's millionaires and there's billionaires. You know what I'm saying? So like if you're looking at somebody that has more than what you have, like you got to use that as motivation. Even when you feel like you're at the top, there's always more to do. You know what I'm saying? There's still more money to get. There's still more people to draw in and buy your product. You know what I'm saying? There's always more to do. Like, you can't really settle for anything. Like, that may feel good for the moment. Like, celebrate that moment, but don't celebrate for too long, because it won't last that long if you just stay in one place. There's always better yourself. Like, always one up yourself. Like, use your motivation from what you did before. Like, use what you did before as motivation to be better than that. Always raise the bar for yourself. Like, you just can't stop. Like, once you get going on what you love, don't stop. You know what I'm saying? Just keep going at it until, like, you just can't no more.
Right.
Like, you just gotta keep going. Like, never settle. Like, for nothing. You can't.
Never settle, exactly. You always have to keep pushing and keep grinding. And also, another thing that could stop from being complacent is trying to network with different people.
Yep.
Networking is honestly just as important as talent. To be honest with you, like, if you have all talent in the world, but your networking skills, or you don't really know too many people, then it's going to be hard to kind of build. So networking can definitely help out with that. What's the saying? If it's not what you know, it's who you know. Right.
Because there's always that one person that just comes out of nowhere and just knows everybody.
Yep.
And like, that's like he said, networking. You won't find that person if you're not networking yourself.
Right. If you're just in the house all day playing like video games and being lazy, you know, it's a lot of things that's, especially for Black men and men in general.
Right.
Definitely a lot of things holding us down. Like, you know, you could get your phone and watch like sex videos anytime you want. You could play video games anytime you want. TV's on. It's a lot of distractions, and TikTok and Instagram, Twitter, a lot of distractions, and for men and women. And like, just like I mentioned earlier, just to focus, just to really focus down and buckle down and say, all right, this is what I want to do. This is what I need to do in order to get where I want to go.
Yeah, like once you really, like he said, once you really buckle down and focus, and you like see from the outside looking in, you see how many distractions was around you. Once like you eliminate those and really focus, like you really see like, damn, that was really holding me back that whole time. Like, there's always that one thing that you never knew what was holding you back until you really get things started.
Right. And speaking of longevity, let's talk a little bit long term of this right here. Where do you see this going?
I can see this going pretty far, especially, you know, if we stick to our guns and just say, like, do what we're gonna say. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we want 1,000 subscribers, we gotta work to get those 1,000 subscribers. You can't just say it. You know, words can only go but so far. So I really see this podcast going far. You know, like, once the idea was brought up, like, we was on the phone talking about it one night, and it's like, I wanted to do it right then and there. Like, I wanted to go to the studio and go right to it. But, you know, like, once we like really work at it, this is gonna really jump off, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great feeling.
What are some goals and some things that you really want to do in the future?
In the future, that's a great question. Like, I want to feel comfortable. I don't want to have that struggle feel. Like, I want to wake up every day knowing like I'm okay, financially, mentally, physically. Like, I don't want to have to like, you know, like stress myself out to make ends meet. Like, I want to, especially for my family, I want to be the provider. You know what I'm saying? I want them to feel like a sense of security. Like, Dad got me. It's gonna be all right.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to have, like, if my kid really wants something, I want to be able to provide that for him. I don't want to be like, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want him to have that feeling. It's like, yeah, like, I can't ask Dad because he might not have it. But it's like, I want them to feel okay. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want in the future. I just want to feel comfortable.
I feel you. Yeah, I think that's there was an interview not too long ago. I believe it was with on the Breakfast Club. It was Breakfast Club and Killer Mike, I believe, and they were talking, and it was like having a debate on people would rather be rich than comfortable. Most people, and Killer Mike was saying that most people would rather be comfortable instead of rich, because when you come to a lot of riches, of course you have a lot of money, but there's also a lot of nonsense you have to go through as well. You know, especially if you have money and fame.
Right.
You know, you see what people go through now. People are killing themselves when they like one of the richest people. Exactly. When they're really not happy. So really understand that, look, yeah, you may not have as much money as, you know, the next guy, but really think about what you do have. It's better you probably have stuff that he doesn't have or she doesn't have. Instead of comparing yourself, really look down deep within yourself and say, man, like, you know, I really do got it. You know, I woke up this morning, you know, I have a nice house, a roof over my head, I sleep in the bed. You know, I got siblings to call, I got mother, father. You know, it's just always something that's good to look at. And for me, some goals I want to do, definitely speak to millions of people any way possible. This is I feel like it's a stepping stone of where I want to go and be positive. And whether that's on the radio or acting, just anything, I just really like to talk, but not like, you know, like talk people's heads off or nothing like that. But I really like to speak because I feel like, you know, we're mature for our age and you can really teach people, older and younger. And definitely, you know, one day, it's crazy, end of this decade, we're going to be 30 years old and probably be having families, which is insane. So, you know, if God blesses me with a family, you know, hopefully I just do them right. I do them right and teach the things that my parents taught me and instill it in them, and also the things that they didn't teach me that I had to learn the hard way, and instill in them as well. You know, and just really want to make a change. Make a change in this thing, man.
Like, thinking about this now is just like, it's kind of shocking because like we were just on the phone not even like a month ago talking about this, and like now that we're here, it's just like, yo, like we really doing this right now. Like, it's a crazy feeling. Right.
And this is only the beginning. You know, we really care. We really care what we see in our community, because we were talking, like a couple of deep conversations about what we see and what we don't like to see. And as we go on with this, we're really gonna get more in depth with it. But this is more of it's an introduction episode. Just let the audience know about us and just talk a little bit. You know, but this is gonna be good, man. This is gonna be awesome, man.
Y'all get to meet Jukes the next episode, and he's a character as well.
Oh yeah. Wait till y'all meet Jukes, man. Jukes is my guy, man.
Right up.
We knew Jukes for a long time, man. But we want to thank you guys for tuning in. Really appreciate everything you guys have done for us, for the community. And you know, me, Elijah right here. And when Jukes comes in, we're going to keep doing this thing. We'll have more guests, younger and older. And this is going to be a really fun time, man. It's going to be fun, educational, and we're going to love this right here. You guys are going to love this.
Yes, sir.
So really thank you guys, and peace.
Have a good night, y'all.